So welcome back to my channel. So this is new. This is a product review. I just did that. Yeah, so I mentioned it before on my Snapchats and various other social media. Probably haven't seen it, but it's The Ordinary. We're going to be testing out some of The Ordinary foundation today. I bought a couple of different colours. The other one's a bit too light for me. This one is the 1.2 YG. So it's a yellow based one with gold highlights. Oh, it's not zooming in. The other two are a little bit lighter. I got a neutral one and I think it was a yellow, another yellow tone one. But they've got an SPF 15. Go to Wayne Goss's channel. He has a really good review of the foundations as well. And he also, underneath, he lists this like a really good guide. So if you're familiar with like MAC foundations like Studio Fix and whatnot, you're familiar with like the NCs and the NWs, he does like a comparison between sort of like which ones of these are similar to which ones of those. So for instance, I think the 1.2 YG was like NC25 or NC30, something like that. So it's really good. So say if you're like an NC50 or you're an NW15, you can have a little look at that and you can kind of get a really good guide what colour you'll be, because I think they've only got one shop up in London at the moment, which is a shame. But anyway, I've worn this a couple of times and I really like it, and I just want to show you how amazingly it goes on. So this is it's a full coverage foundation, and I will tell you how much it retails at. It retails at £5.90, but they're currently out of stock of a lot of colours. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of this. It went for like wildfire, £5.90 for a full coverage foundation. But not even that, it's a really good foundation and it's got good ingredients in it. You know, so there you go. So let's go with it. So I've got my damp beauty blender. It's a bit ghetto, this blender. I've had it for a while. I need to get a new one. But hey, you know, who has the time? So, getting some on my beauty blender, and I'm just going to bounce this. So I have prepped my skin already. I've moisturised and I've put a primer on. So the moisturiser I used was, funny enough, The Ordinary. It was their natural moisturising factors with hyaluronic acid. I think it's that one. I really like it. It's just a really easy peasy, basic moisturiser. It doesn't have any smell. It does what it says on the tin. It's beautiful. And at night time I'll use it with their, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but their squalene oil, which is really similar to the Kiehl's is it the Midnight Recovery Concentrate, the purple one. That's basically squalene oil, which is a naturally derived plant oil, I believe, with like lavender and something else. So it doesn't have the lavender and the other oil in it, but it's got squalene in, which is like, it's a really great oil if you're sort of got dry skin or if you're dehydrated and you just need like a little pick-me-up. I mean, who doesn't need a pick-me-up from time to time, right? So yeah, it's a really nice one, and again, really reasonable for the price it is. Looking a little bit yellow on me. I'm kind of like one of those borderline people. I can pretty much wear like a warm or a cool. I tend to go for more of a cool tone most of the time. I think a lot of people do these days. I think it's just because nobody really wants to look that pink. But yeah, it's better if, like, I use a lot of yellow tones on when I'm doing sort of TV. So when I work on Scrambled, I tend to go for more of a yellow tone. I mean, London's got more of a natural yellow undertone to her skin, and anyway, and Ariel, I'd probably say she's kind of more slightly on the warm side because she's quite fair, but when she tans she does go quite golden, so she can wear like a yellow undertone, but I tend to sort of mix it a little bit. So I might wear sort of like, I think I used like an NW20 foundation on her, but I'll use like a C3, C5, something like that, Studio Fix powder. So this, I mean, I feel this blends quite nicely. I mean, what's nice about the beauty blender is it kind of distributes it quite nicely and evenly. So I don't want it to be too like thick. You could certainly put more on. This reminds me a little bit of like NARS Sheer Glow, do I say it? Or the Makeup Forever, just like the consistency of it. It's nice. It's got like a semi-matte kind of finish. And I think that's a really nice coverage personally. Like, I really like it. Yeah. There we are. So yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to sort of finish the rest of my makeup a little bit, and then I'll kind of be back in to show you. I'm just going to do a little bit more actually, just on my cheeks, because I'm just looking in the mirror that you can't see behind you, and just evening it out a little bit. So I did use, so I said, didn't I? I'm running away with myself. So I did my moisturiser, but I also used the Smashbox primer, silicone based one, which they say is a good one. I prefer silicone based ones if I'm going to do like a heavier one. I've got a lot of texture around my sort of T-zone area, so here and here that's where I always get congested, and that's where I'm kind of a bit more porous. If I'm going to get oily, it will be in the T-zone. So yeah. So far, well, I know I like it, I've used it before, but I'm really quite happy with it. So there you go. I got a damp beauty blender, but a tip I saw, I think it was Mac Daddy, he's also on YouTube, you probably already know that, but he will spray his beauty blender with some of the Urban Decay All-Nighter to really kind of set it. So if you do like a really, really heavy coverage, do that, and then you can create some really, really, really good layers. So yeah, I'm okay with that. That is okay with me. So I'm just gonna cancel that. So the kind of look I was kind of going for my skin is if I was maybe going out. So I'm gonna do my makeup a little bit more, sort of like a slightly more of intenser kind of base. So this is just like a colour corrector. This is the MAC Prep and Prime Radiant Rose. So it's a slightly pinkier one because I have sort of darker colour under my eyes. And yeah, like these bits here, I got caught in the sun when I was pregnant with my daughter, and some of the pigmentation just didn't go away. I've got that pigmentation on my forehead. Oh, someone's crying. And yeah, a little bit around my eye, sort of cheek. So I kind of find that that just helps kind of lighten and brighten. And it's not too heavy, which is nice. I mean, nobody wants like a heavy kind of concealer look under their eye, do they? Nope. So this is rubbed off. This was their Siesta Lauder Double Wear concealer highlighter thing. And this was the 2W Light Medium Warm. So yeah, going for a warm colour under the eye, because I'm more a little bit, well, when I say that, some days I feel like I'm a little bit kind of pinky or purpley under the eye. Who knows? But this kind of doubles up as a bit of a highlight, so I just kind of, get it all over my eyeball. And just buff it in underneath the eye. So what we've done with the Prep and Prime by MAC, it's slightly pinkier, that's going to kind of correct the colour a little bit more. So when you put the concealer on, you should have sort of more of a blanker canvas, I guess. Just do a little bit. So just like that, you know. And I'm pushing this in. Way turbo blending. So, concealer done. Boom. Now I'm just trying to make up my mind whether or not I want to contour with powder or a cream. She's gonna go with a cream, folks. Yes. So this is my little Makeup Forever palette that I really like. I'm just gonna grab a Real Techniques brush. This is the setting brush, but you know, you say setting, I say contour. So I'm just going to run this just underneath the cheekbone, a little bit into the hairline, a little bit. These are really easy to blend. I really like this sculpting palette. I think I talked about this in I definitely talked about this in my last video because I've only made 2. So yeah, let's just bang a little bit around the forehead, a little bit around the jaw. So one thing we got taught at MAC was the through and the backwards E. That's quite a good way of thinking of it. Like, I didn't invent that. It's kind of a well-known kind of, I don't know, paint by numbers kind of style to do it. And then I'm just going to go back in with a beauty blender and just pounce it in to blend it out. Probably not a good idea to wear a scarf. I'm not even sure if I'm going to talk through this, you know, guys. I might just do a voiceover, so it might just look a bit weird. Who knows? There we go. Do we do a bit around the nose? I've never really contoured my nose that much. I just feel like it's quite mushroomy, so it kind of looks worse And this is not the greatest brush for doing that. I'm just going to pinch it. Has that even made a difference? Anyway, it kind of looks like I've just smudged something on my eye. Anyway, there we go with the base. That's all done. So now we're going to go on with some Studio Fix powder. It's summer, and believe it or not, I'm a bit tanned. This is me tanned. Yeah. So NC35. I'm just going to reach up and get my trusty 187 brush. I really love this for powder. I'm just going to go a little bit all over the face, because it buffs it. Now I've got real bad brow lines, and it doesn't matter what kind of primer I use, stuff gets stuck in it. So I find like the matte powder, so something like Studio Fix, like a better powder for kind of setting it, because with the brush you can kind of like mush it into the lines a little bit, just sort out any of the separation. There we go. So this is kind of my base full coverage. There we go. And then you want to get a bronzer. I'm going to go with the Urban Decay one today because it's just right there. And same brush. I'm going to swirl a bit that around. And just, so with a contour, and I don't always contour. I mean, if I do contour, I'll probably contour with a bronzer, not a contour. I don't kind of do it twice for an everyday makeup. But the contour is meant to add kind of more shadow. So that's more to sculpt out your face a bit more and add a bit of definition, you know. Whereas bronzer is more, I feel, to kind of warm up the face, give it a healthy kind of looking glow, like you've been a bit more sun-kissed, you know. And it's kind of, it's a weird one because those two kind of things kind of overlap a little bit, because bronzer tends to go in the same kind of places of where you'll put your contour, but they're kind of, I feel like, normally different colours, mostly bronzers. Well, they used to tend to be warmer, now they're kind of yellowy and all sorts of different colours really. So that's the base. I haven't put any blusher or lipstick on because I'm going to do my eyes, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do with my eyes, but yeah, I'll come back to you and let you know how the foundation lasts. Kapow. Hello! So, this is me after the foundation tutorial, which I hope you enjoyed, by the way. So, I've been wearing the foundation for a couple of hours. I actually filmed another look afterwards, which isn't something I normally want to like do, but I'm a mum of two and I work, so I've got to fit it in when I've got to fit it in. So yeah, I filmed another look, this vintage one, which I was wearing false eyelashes, but can't really go around the house doing shorts and false eyelashes. I mean, you could wear false eyelashes, but I can't because I've got contact lenses in, which I've been wearing since this morning, and yeah, I'm not going to walk around the house wearing false eyelashes. But my point, and there was a point, was that I've been wearing the Ordinary foundation now for quite some time, and it's lasted pretty well. I mean, I've tried it a couple of days ago, well, I've tried it a few times in sort of like hot, we've had a bit of a heat wave at the moment, and it's done really, really well. I've also watered it down with a bit of the MAC mixing medium, just to kind of give it a little bit of a lighter, softer feel, which worked really well, which I might show you in another video if I remember. But on a whole, I rate this up there with something like Studio Fix or the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation, those kind of full coverage foundations. It's really nice, guys, really, really nice, and it's £5.90. I mean, you can't go wrong. The only thing I'll say, but this does happen with most full coverage foundations, is it did collect a little bit. So if you have a look up in the brow frown, you can maybe see a little bit there. I've tried to blend it in. Oh, and I did Fix Plus my face before I filmed this. But yeah, it has collected a little bit in those lines. Even when I wear primer, that always happens to me. It always happens no matter what I do. I always get a little bit of that kind of build up in those kind of lines. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at this foundation one little bit. In fact, I really recommend you going and have a look. I don't know if I said this before, but Wayne Goss on his channel, he's got a really, really good little kind of comparison chart guide. So if you're familiar with the matte colours, so say for like an NC25, if you have a look on his review of these, he kind of suggests what colour you'll be in this, which is really, really handy. Really appreciate that, because that's what I looked at when I got this one. Yeah, so that's about it. I mean, go check them out, have a look at their skincare. It's really good, it's really affordable, and it works. And I've got some of their things in my kit now, so it just goes to show, you know. And I'll always try something before I put something in my kit, and that's really, really important to me. I think that's everything I was going to say. The one thing I did do my brows off camera, and I just wanted to mention, because it's a bit of an RIP, my Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Brow like thing died, and this was one of my favourites. So this is all my favourite brow products. It's this one, Eyebrows by MAC and Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this one. And this one I loved because it had that little like screw thing you can put in your highlighter. This was amazing, and I was supposed to pick one up at IMATS. It's got that kind of slightly triangular, you can't see, and there's nothing there to see because it's all gum. But yeah, this ran out today, so I'm a bit bitter about it. So yeah, but that's about all I have time for today, friends. So stay tuned. I'll see you in the next toots. Bye for now.